Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another special edition of Litter Media Live. Going live today on Litter Media YouTube. I'm your host, Mike Smith, and this special edition has Katie Wells, 4-H educator, and Ava Palmer. She is on the Junior Fair Board, but also with the Junior Livestock Growers. Our special edition today brought to you by Kingston National Bank. Back with the 4-H right after this.
Wherever you are there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Welcome back, Katie Wells and Ava Palmer. Is it Ava or Eva?
Ava.
Ava, well, welcome. Good to have you with us. The Ross County Fair, as we do this interview live, is just a couple of weeks away. And we wanted to talk about some of the activities of the Junior Fair. Of course, everybody knows about Junior Fair Night, but there's some new things that are happening this year. Who wants to lead off? Ava, are you going to lead off? Get on base, and then Katie can drive you home, all right?
Well, one of the new activities that we are doing this year is the Junior Fair Board is participating in a food drive, which is called Stock the Trailer. You can bring any kind of non-perishable food item to any Junior Fair event, and the Junior Fair Board will collect that. We're going to have a trailer set up somewhere along the fair. I think the location...
I think it's right by the Large Animal Show Arena.
Yeah, it's going to be there. So you can just put food in there anytime you'd like. We also have a Venmo right now that is going to be available until fair.
I think it's Roscoe JFB.
Mm-hmm.
But this food drive is something that counties all over Ohio are doing. It's a competition that is weight-based, so if we have a lot of food, then we win this competition, and the winning prize is about $5,000, which can really help our fair program.
And I think you mentioned it, but just to reiterate, it's just like any food drive, non-perishable items. Yeah.
Yes, we've been working with local businesses to donate flats of water, things like that are really going to add some weight to that trailer quickly. Mm-hmm. So hopefully we're very competitive. I think there's a lot of good people in Ross County that care about our community, so it should be an easy competition for us to win. And their spirit at the fair, everybody knows that the fair is home. So I think it'll be a good opportunity to get something for our board, mm-hmm. and also to give back to the community.
Now, Katie said you've actually been doing this for a few years, but this year they're really promoting it more.
Yeah, we've put in a lot of things to help it be more successful. So we've added the Venmo so clubs can choose to donate, or families that are walking through the fairgrounds can see signs and choose to donate. And that money then, our kids will go on a little bit of a purchasing spree, mm-hmm. at the store during Fair Week to bring goods back and fill the trailer. And so it's just another way to be able to help support without having to carry canned goods all over the fairgrounds.
So again, the trailer event is going on throughout the entire week. Now, activities out at the fair start stirring on Saturday as far as the general public is concerned, but Sunday is the first official day. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, the Junior Fair Queen and King contest. That's still 8 o'clock?
It is 8
o'clock.
o'clock.
Grandstand?
Yes,
yeah.
8 o'clock
On
at the
Sunday.
grandstand. We have quite a number of lady candidates this year, and I believe there's 5 king candidates.
Wow.
Yeah.
We will have a full court this year.
I know last year the MC, and I can't remember the young man's name.
Kenton Richter.
Is he back?
Kenton Richter will be back. He
Yeah.
is taking over that responsibility.
Is this his third year?
I believe so.
Yeah,
yes.
Taking over for the Hall of Famer Todd Holdren, of course, who did that for many years. Yeah.
What big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
He feels that pressure.
But I know that he was really promoting that more men get involved in the Kings contest, so you have 5 this year.
We do, yep.
Who's one of the big sponsors of that event?
Kingston National Bank has historically been a fabulous sponsor for us in that event.
I guess we picked the right sponsor for today's interview then.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
For someone who, and it's hard to believe if you live in Ross County, you've not, but maybe there's someone new to our community that's never been to the Ross County Fair tonight. Talk about the King and Queen contest and how that all works as far as the format's concerned.
Okay, so the King and Queen contest is something that many of the local youths and children involved in different 4-H and other FFA Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, FCCLA, they can all participate in this. And this is a contest where they go and they try to demonstrate what they've all done for the fair. And they participate in this contest in front of everybody at the grandstands on Sunday, August 4th. It's always the Sunday affair. And they're just trying to express how much they give back to their community. And then there's a panel of judges who pick who they decide best represents the Ross County Fair.
Sure. Other steps of that include an application process and an interview before they even arrive, and that's a different set of judges. And they are doing exactly what you said. Who represents our county really well? Who can describe how being a part of our fair community has impacted and changed their lives? That could be talking about their advisors. It could be talking about being a camp counselor. It could be talking about raising livestock. It could be talking about baking with their grandma or learning to can, some of those great lifelong skills that you can learn through these different organizations. So we have some stellar individuals. We've had Ohio Fairs Queens at least twice that I know of. So that is the competition that our local county individuals go on and participate in at the state level in January. So we've had some great success. We have a lot to be proud of in our King and Queen candidates.
Now, there are other events that take place there at the grandstand that evening. There are a number of 4-H awards that are presented as well. You want to talk about some of those?
How about you talk about 4-H'er of the Year?
So 4-H'er of the Year is an award that is put up by the county. The educators put it up, and advisors, they fill out this application with a kid that they decide best represents 4-H. Last year, I actually won that award. I won 4-H'er of the Year.
It recognizes somebody that's embodying the things that 4-H stands for. So your head, your heart, your hands, and your health. So are they doing great community service in their club? Have they helped some kids through a mentorship capacity? Are they going out of their way to make the club have great team spirit? Are they the ones that are always helping keep track of the details to keep things moving and organized? Those types of things. It's not supposed to be the ones that are always the show ponies that are stealing the limelight at the county level. It's supposed to be recognizing the everyday heroes that are happening in our clubs, that are doing great things, that are really, making 4-H what it's known to be countywide. And we've been doing that, I think, 3 years now. Is that right? Yeah, 3 years now. So we're looking forward to see who they pick this year. Another award that gets recognized that night is going to be our Friend of 4-H, and that can be a community business or an individual that has helped our program in at least 3 different capacities over a period of time. They're names and faces that the community knows and recognizes and can say, gosh, they've really made an impact. And I know who this year's is, and I am so excited because they are incredibly deserving, as always.
So the whole evening takes about how long?
Oh, I'd say you're out of there in about an hour and a half.
Which is that's pretty good.
Yeah.
You can't go to a ball game typically and get out of there that fast.
That's true. It's not that the seats are that comfortable either. So.
Right. Everybody's waving, hey, it's time to go. Yeah. Did you tell me how many of the Queen candidates you have this year? I know you said how many of the King contestants, 5, but do you know how many Queen contestants?
It's either 11 or 13. I can't remember for sure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
We have another Junior Fair Board set of advisors that really champion that. I stay out of it because I know these guys so well. I don't want to bias the competition. But Kate Roberts-Ellison and Amy Bush really help champion that, and they are doing a great job working with the kids. And they're teaching so many leadership skills through that process. They evaluate the applications. They're working with judges. They're working on communication skills, both written and verbal, on how to interact with others. So I think it's one of the coolest subcommittees we have going on in Junior Fair Board is how do you run a contest? What are all the moving pieces of that? How do you stay professional? How do you stay unbiased? Those types of things. Now,
another event, and again, I'm assuming that we might have someone watching that has never been to the fair. Maybe you're new to the community. Junior Fair Night, that is a hoot. There's a lot of things that are a lot of fun. Talk about some of those events.
Junior Fair Night is probably one of our most popular events, probably ever. It's a very, very fun night filled with lots of activities, but the Junior Fair Board works hard over the years. We're divided into committees that go into Junior Fair Night. So there's different activities that Junior Fair Night has. We have an outhouse race, we have a lip sync contest, and we have an apple pie baking contest. They're all really fun. And last night we just had our prelims for these activities. But sadly for the lip sync, not everybody can move on. So what the prelims were for is every club submitted an application and went through, and they all performed last night, but only 5 got to make it to the finals. So the finals is what Junior Fair Night's going to be.
Ryan and I last night, our other 4-H educator, Ryan Klein, who's fabulous, he and I were talking this morning about how last night there were 0 acts that were a flop. It was so hard. You could have sent all of them to Junior Fair Night, and it would have been a great show. The other part of Junior Fair Night that you didn't mention yet was the calf scramble. So, again, that's a great activity. We've got, I think at least a dozen kids that are participating in that. They'll be chasing calves around if you want to see that action, entertainment, and fear all at once on the faces of their family members. That's another thing that concludes that night that can be really fun for people to come out. And we're so grateful for the people that sponsor those contests, especially the ones that are donating calves. Those are not inexpensive gives. So we're really grateful for that partnership.
4-H membership in Ross County, do we know where that stands? Is it steady as far as years past? Is it growing?
I do know that, actually. Yeah. We have historically been either first or second in the state for largest county enrollment. We still hold that. We have been gaining since COVID, where we lost a lot of individuals, sadly. We have been at 4 or 5% growth for the past 2 years in a row, and we're really happy to see that. So our numbers are over 1,500 again. 4-H youth participate in our program, and we've got 220 some volunteers that help support those kids have successful years in 4-H. And then, for the Junior Fair program specifically, there's a whole bunch of individuals that make that happen that are not necessarily 4-H advisors. They might also be 4-H advisors, but they wear the hat of Junior Fair livestock barn superintendents. Every barn has more than a handful probably of adults that give of their time year round to set up the shows and figure out things from shavings to class breaks. So there's a lot of great adults involved in making that happen too. So those kids are really well supported.
One thing that over the decades of covering the Ross County Fair or any county fair, you learn that 4-H is not just about rural kids. You don't have to live on a farm to be in 4-H. Do you live on a farm?
I don't. I don't show any animals at all.
So what projects do you usually bring?
I mainly take general projects, so they're mainly called like miscellaneous or general projects. I take a lot of our food projects. I've taken probably like almost every single project. I take a lot. I just couldn't
200
decide.
projects, Ava.
Not all of them. I just couldn't decide what I liked, so I just went around. I've done cake decorating, scrapbooking. I just baked breads.
The takeaway from that is, Ava, you do a great job of demonstrating your interests are going to change over the course of growing up, and that there's a little bit of everything for you to explore in 4-H at any time in whatever you're chasing. If you're into insects, great. If you're into ponds, great. If you're into cake decorating, great. There's all sorts of stuff. We had Sally and Ryan were in the office. Sally Bluck, our program assistant, really helps with our general project judging, and they were raving about the robotics kids this year.
Wow.
We had a handful of incredible robotics kids that really put time into their projects. You can see the effort that they put in, and they were very impressed with those things this year, too. One of the other things that Ava's gotten to do through the program is she got to go to Puerto Rico on a cultural immersion trip. So she's really dabbled in a lot of the different things, and you're actually helping up at State Fair this year, I think, too, right?
I am, yes.
What are you doing up there?
At the State Fair, I'm going to be helping with the judgings that are up there. So at the county level, you get judged on your project, and then the judges evaluate at the end of the day, and they get to pick one person from each area. It's either 1 or 2. It depends on the size and level of how many people are in that project. But one person gets picked to go to state, and then they go to state, and they get judged at a state level. What I'm doing at the state is I'm going to be helping run that event with the Ohio Teen Leadership Council.
Okay, thanks.
I hate to put you on the spot, but that's what reporters do. I'm not going to ask you if you're going to run for president or anything like that. Can you see yourself when you age out of 4-H as a participant, that you might be an advisor?
I've had that thought before. I'm going into my senior year, so now it's time to start, thinking, what am I going to do? I've definitely had the thought about continuing my career in like a 4-H area.
Yeah, Katie's leaning on you, I can tell. Anything else about the week of the Ross County Fair or 4-H in general that you want to touch on before we close?
I think one of the things that's happened in recent years is we've had an influx of kids again. And when you have that influx, we need good adults to keep helping. Mm-hmm. So there's endless stories, not being from here, endless stories of decades of 4-H spirit. And I know that there's thousands of alumni in our county still that have great stories about the impact 4-H has had on their lives. And I guess I'm just asking them to consider whether starting a 4-H club is something that they can do for their community that will help them make great connections with kids and have fun in barns or have fun, at your kitchen tables, making memories and teaching skills like you were taught when you were growing up. I think it does make a difference. I think that these projects are just an opportunity to have really good conversations about character and about values and about your future as a kid and what you're going to do in the world. So I hope that all these great people that we see out at the Ross County Fair saying hi to friends that feel like family, that they can say, man, I want this feeling year round, and that they consider being 4-H advisors.
Very good.
One more event that we're going to have during Fair Week is the Junior Fair Board is holding a cornhole tournament.
Woohoo.
It's going to be Friday after Fair Awards, I think about 6 or 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. It's going to be in the Small Animal Show Arena. We're going to have a bunch of cornhole boards set up. So if you have a partner and you want to come play cornhole, come join us.
Who's eligible to participate? Is that like anybody?
We have an age limit on it. I think it's 19 and younger to come participate. And it's going to be split 50-50, so the winners get half of the prize, and the other half is actually going to go to our Stock the Trailer fundraiser.
Very good. Well, one important note that you shouldn't forget, if you ever need a taste tester for any of your baking projects, I'm free. And if Aaron and Dan would probably volunteer for that as well. Our guests today have been Katie Wells, 4-H advisor, also Ava Palmer, Junior Livestock Growers is the group that she's in, but she's also with the Ross Junior Fair Board. They've been our special edition guests today on Litter Media, brought to you by Kingston National Bank. I'm Mike Smith.